In Tekken 8, there are so many moves, so many mechanics, and so many ways to play the game. It can feel overwhelming at first, especially when you're trying to figure out what actually works. But some tools stand out more than others, and when it comes to Leroy, his parries are one of the most powerful mechanics you can learn. So in this video, I'm going to break them down for you. Alright, if you're not using Leroy's parries in Tekken 8, you're seriously missing out one of the most powerful defensive tools in the game. In this video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about Leroy's parries. From the basics all the way to advanced mind games that can completely shut down your opponents. So if you want to level up your defense and start controlling matches, this guide is for you. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about why Leroy's parries are so important. Unlike normal defense, where you're just blocking and waiting, parries let you interrupt your opponent's offense and instantly turn the situation in your favor. Instead of taking pressure, you flip it. That's what makes Leroy such a scary character. Your opponent always has to think twice before pressing buttons. But with that being said, parries are not something you can just spam. If you use them without thinking, good players will bait you and punish you hard. So the goal is not to parry more, it's to parry smarter. Now let's go over how Leroy's parries actually work. Leroy has different parry options depending on the type of attack, and understanding what you can and cannot parry is key. In general, you're looking to parry predictable attacks. Things like panic jabs, predictable strings, or players who mash under pressure. Timing is very important here. You don't want to press parry too early or too late. You want to hit that moment right before the attack connects. A good way to practice this is by going into training mode and recording command strings. Then just practice reacting and getting the timing down. At first, it might feel inconsistent, but once you get used to it, it becomes second nature. Alright, this is where most players struggle, knowing when to actually use parries. The best time to parry is when you have a read on your opponent. For example, if your opponent always presses after being slightly negative, that's your opportunity. If they love to mash jab to take the turn back, that's your opportunity. If they rely on flowcharts and repeat the same patterns, perfect. That's exactly what you want. But if you're just guessing, you're going to get punished. So stay patient, observe your opponent first, then start using parries once you see habits. Now let's talk about common mistakes. The biggest mistake is spamming parry. This might work at lower ranks, but as soon as you play against better players, they will destroy you for it. Another mistake is panicking. If you're under pressure and you just throw out a random parry, you're taking a huge risk. Sometimes, the best option is still to block. Also, don't become predictable yourself. If you always parry in the same situations, your opponent will adapt and bait you, so you need to stay unpredictable. Now, this is one of the most important parts of the entire guide. What do you do after you land a parry? A lot of players get the parry and then do nothing. That's a huge waste. You need to make every parry count. Go for your strongest punish, your best combo starter, or apply strong pressure depending on the situation. This is how you turn defense into real damage. If your opponent knows they're going to lose half their health every time they get parried, they'll start hesitating, and that's exactly what you want. Now let's take it to the next level. Once your opponent realizes you're using parries, the mind games begin. They start hesitating, they might stop pressing buttons, they might try to bait your parry, and this is where you evolve your playstyle. Instead of always going for the parry, you can apply pressure, go for throws, delay your timing, or just block and punish. You're basically forcing your opponent into a mental battle, and Leroy is incredibly strong in that situation. Because now your opponent is not just playing the game, they're thinking about you. In real matches, you want to combine everything. Don't just rely on one option. Mix between blocking, parrying, sidestepping, and applying pressure. The goal is to become unpredictable while reading your opponent at the same time. That's when you become really dangerous. So yeah, mastering Leroy's parries in Tekken 8 is not just about defense. It's about controlling the pace, reading your opponent, and turning every mistake into damage. If you can do that consistently, you're going to climb the ranks fast. If this guide helped you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Tekken 8 content, and I'll see you in the next one.